Hey, I'm ZSHplays, and it's time for the animal we've all been waiting for. Frontier have sent me a feature focus with some of the new and returning animals coming to Planet Zoo 2, and it features this guy. The Planet Zoo 2 lion, and wow, he's had quite the glow up. There's lots more new footage and screenshots to see. Let's check it out. The feature focus is all about how we look after the new animals that we have in our zoos, but it's mainly just an excuse to spend a long time looking at the new lion models. The female was already one of the best animals in the game for me, the male was not, but the new model is so much better, way less cartoony and much more realistic mane. We'll look at them in more detail later, but we also get to see the new African penguin and another look at the gorgeous saltwater crocodile. The lion look really cool stalking around their habitat here. Interestingly enough, according to this little info box you can see here, Frontier have just gone with the species name here, so it's just a lion rather than an African lion or an Asiatic lion, which is unusual. They normally go with the subspecies, but to be honest, it's not something that hugely bothers me. I'd actually rather they didn't really bother with subspecies except for ones that are very, very different, because if you just call it a lion, then when you place it into your zoo, you can decide whether it's African or Asiatic, especially considering scientists are changing the definition of subspecies and species all the time. It can get quite confusing. I'm pretty happy to go with the lion, especially when they look as good as this. The next part of the new feature focus shows off a little bit more of the wildlife reserves. Here's the African one here, looking as gorgeous as it did back in the announced trailer. We've got zebra, wildebeest, and the African savanna elephants in here as well. Can't wait to see exactly how this feature is going to work. We're going to take a look at all the new announced animals in a minute. But firstly, we got some more footage of the western chimpanzees. And there's some interesting information in this video, like it seems that in Planet Zoo 2, some of the animals will only breed at certain times of year, which further reinforces the fact that we're getting actual proper time and seasons in this game, rather than the weird kind of random weather and non-existent seasons in Planet Zoo. Look at this guy brachiating here, so happy to see this. Massively improved climbing, can't wait to start building climbing frames for all our primates. And we also get our first look at some of the baby animals. Here's the saltwater crocodile. You can see there's a distinct model for the baby rather than just a smaller version of the adult. And here are the lion cubs. They were amazing in Planet Zoo, so very confident they'll be good in Planet Zoo 2. And finally, at the very end of the video, we get our first glimpse at our sharks. This is the black-tipped reef shark. Very excited to see more of those. All right, let's dive into the details on all the new animals. Here's the red pandas, not one of the best animals in Planet Zoo, greatly improved here. The fur is so much better. They're a much better colour as well, look a lot closer to a real red panda. And if you've seen Frontier socials, you'll have seen they've got loads of new animations as well, which is going to be a lot of fun to see in our zoos. Next up, the African penguins. From what I can tell, these are pretty much the same as they are in Planet Zoo, which is no bad thing. They look great in Planet Zoo. I think they've just got a slightly higher resolution texture. You can see more detail in the fur. So glad they're going with penguins straight out of the box rather than making people wait for a DLC. They're such a vital zoo animal. And then it's time for the saltwater crocodile. We've seen a lot of these underwater, so it's great to see them out of the water now. I mentioned the baby model looks really good. And just the textures on these are so lifelike now. Really high definition, and it's great to see one of the worst animals in Planet Zoo looking so good now. Probably the coolest of all the crocodilians. Great to see them done justice. Back to the chimps, I want to talk about three things. How incredibly lush this habitat looks. Cannot wait to get stuck into the new foliage brush. Secondly, the fact that the animal's sounds are now directly tied to their facial muscles, which means their vocalizations are so much more realistic. And finally, on a slightly negative note, I feel like all the chimps look kind of grey rather than black. You can see how in the little icon for this chimp, it's got black fur, but then when you actually see it, in the sunlight, the fur looks grey. Don't know if that's something to do with the lighting engine, but that could definitely do with being looked at, I think. Because in this shot in the evening, it's back to being black again. We're going to take another look now at one of the animals I'm most excited about, the black-tipped reef shark. These look really elegant and mysterious, cruising along in the background just behind the little bit of boat scenery there. It's going to be awesome seeing what people come up with for these sharks. Three more animals to see here, the wildebeest, zebra, and African savanna elephant. This is now confirmed as the Great Rift Valley Nature Reserve, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm wondering how big these will be. Will they be the same size as a normal Planet Zoo map? Will they be larger? To be honest, I think if it's much larger than the normal Planet Zoo map, you'll probably spend more time trying to find the animals than observing them, so I'm not too fussed at how big or small these are. When they look as good as this, I'm going to be very happy with them, I think. And now back to the lions. This habitat looks like it might be using a dry moat to keep them in, which is something we saw briefly in the gameplay trailer. Really hope we've got a much better way of making those in Planet Zoo 2. And as we touched on in our gameplay video, the animal's happiness with their habitat is no longer just a bar that you look at and then adjust to get it up to 100%. They will actually react and behave differently depending on whether they are happy or not. So if you want to see them at their best, then you need to make sure that their habitats are suitable. Probably best if you don't have two adult males in the same habitat as well. All right, let's look now at all the recently revealed animals from the Zoopedia, starting with the brown trout. Not exactly a huge headline animal, but if we're going to have aquariums in the game, then freshwater fish have every much right to be in the game as saltwater fish. And I can actually see these in a slightly low-key European area. I am so hoping that we can build small aquariums as well as the big massive ones we see in the trailer, because little mixed aquariums showing one ecosystem are more and more popular in zoos. I recently went to a European vivarium at the Zoological Gardens in Paris, which is exclusively for European reptiles and amphibians. And even though there's no big name species in there, it's absolutely fascinating to see all these animals that you don't normally see in zoos, and I think the brown trout could do a great job of being one of those. Next up is the common hippo. This was revealed in the PC Gamer magazine a week ago or so. You can see the hugely improved fidelity on the model and texturing here. They're always so impressive to see in zoos. I'm looking forward to building for them. Next up we have a returning exhibit animal, the Danube crested newt. We still have absolutely no information on exhibits in Planet Zoo 2, how they're going to work, what we're going to be able to do with them. Sure, we're all desperate to at the very least have different sizes of them this time. This appears to be exactly the same as it was in the first game. To be honest, if they just remap the textures so that they are at a higher resolution so we can get closer to the animals without them getting all blurry, I think I'd be pretty happy with that. I'm more interested in what we can do with the exhibits themselves. Here's the European bison, which is what the Weasant is now being called, which is probably a more common name for it than Weasant, to be honest. Already a good model, and it looks even better here. Then the European peacock butterfly, hoping we get some more tropical species as well as the grassland species in Planet Zoo 2, because butterfly houses tend to be tropical. There's a new really high quality shot of the golden lion tamarin on the Zoopedia. My baby, cannot wait to build for these, and hopefully other marmosets and tamarins as well. Then the Goodfellows tree kangaroo, something people were clamoring for in Planet Zoo for so long. I've got to say, this is the model that has impressed me least out of all the new animals that I've seen. It kind of looks like they made it for Planet Zoo a while ago and then dropped it into Planet Zoo 2. Maybe it's just a bad screenshot, but I think this could do with some better fur texturing and probably a darker coloration as well. But we've not got any video of it yet, so I'm going to wait until we see that before I cement my opinion. But a really fun animal to build for and very cute. The penultimate animal is something I think I tried to identify as a grouper back in the gameplay trailer. It is a humphead wrasse. Don't know what I was talking about. Really, really good model, beautiful textures and coloration on it. Going to be a great addition to aquariums. And then finally, we have a screenshot of the secretary bird. We saw a lot of these in the announced trailer and they look really cool, and it's great to see one of them close up like this. That's everything in the feature focus. I really hope you enjoyed this. I hope you're as excited for Planet Zoo 2 as I am, and I'll see you again soon for some more Planet Zoo 2 updates.